In 2025, we are all about simplifying our home, making worthwhile and mindful purchases, decluttering unused items, and most importantly, deliberately not wasting money on unsustainable and wasteful things. Today, we're sharing 25 things we're not buying in 2025.
I think we've all felt the pang of guilt of spending hard-earned money on what ultimately turns out to be a wasteful, unnecessary, or just downright bad for the planet kind of purchase. Josh and I are what you'd call frugal minimalists, so we're hyper aware of where our money is going and what we're bringing into our home to surround ourselves with. But we weren't always this way. We've had our fair share of dud purchases that honestly just wasted our money, cluttered up our space, and made us completely question if the overwhelm of too much stuff was worth it. It wasn't. So we decluttered and downsized a lot of our stuff, cut down our wardrobes by 80% of what they were, and drastically simplified our lives in all major areas: financial, digital, schedule-wise. The influence of simplifying had far reaches and 100% improved our lives for the better. In big part, this came down to decluttering first, and then the magic came from not buying certain things. So let's dive right into our list of things we're personally not buying in 2025. A few of these might surprise you, but keep in mind we're not telling you to not buy anything that you find positively impacts your life. This is just our list, and we're sharing it in the hopes it sparks a thought or inspiration for how you might perhaps be able to simplify your own life and physical possessions in a very real, tangible way.
First on our list, the one that probably comes first to most people's minds when they hear the words stop buying single-use plastic water bottles. We all know they're awful for the environment. One use and they go to landfill? No thanks. Especially the ones so thin and flimsy you crush them just by trying to open them. A good reusable water bottle absolutely saves you money, cuts out tons of waste, and doesn't expose you to the breaking down of chemicals and even microplastics found leaching into many single-use water bottles. A recent study carried out in January of last year showed that researchers found on average a litre of bottled water included about 240,000 tiny pieces of plastic. About 90% of these plastic fragments were nanoplastics. We've left a link to the study below in the description if you want to check it out further. So yes, get yourself a good reusable water bottle. We've had ours for years now, and we never leave the house without them.
Next, as the second thing on our no-buy list for 2025, cheap, non-matching socks. Let's be honest, nearly everyone's sock drawer looks like chaos at some point in their life. Socks can wear out fast, lose elasticity, and become mismatched odd soles in the washing machine. In terms of household chores that I hate doing the most, matching up socks, hunting around for the matching partner is one that I perhaps despise the most. So I've made it a resolution that we're only going to buy literally the same type of socks that are higher quality and will last longer. Ones that are either white or black. No fancy colors or patterns or logos, the exact same socks. So they're a breeze to match together sitting in front of the TV or watching a good show. We like batching tasks like folding the washing away, and when it does come time to match up all the random socks, long and short, thin and thick, patterned and colored, it gets annoying and takes more time than we like every single time. So from now on, no more buying random 3 pairs of socks because they're on sale and look cute in our household. We'll just buy all the same and make sure they're good quality, matching socks that actually last. And there's a very real time and frustration cost saved there that we're excited to bring into 2025. Again, that's not to say that you can't have fun socks if you enjoy them. It's just personally not our thing.
Third thing on our we're not buying in 2025 list, expensive one-use tools. Where possible, we're going to rent or borrow instead of buying these one-hit wonders. Things like jigsaws for a one-time project, or a tile cutter, or even a hammer drill. You'll probably only use it once. Renting is cheaper and you won't end up with a garage full of dust-covered regrets. This is one we've learned the hard way as first homeowners with a million projects to complete. Things can absolutely be borrowed from your local library, Buy Nothing Facebook group, friends and family, or even rented from your local hardware store. Not every single person needs to own every single thing to be 1000% self-sufficient. That's money that could be put elsewhere if you just borrowed or even rented the thing instead. So that's one on our list we're not buying this year. Expensive one-use tools.
Fourth on our no-buy list, trendy fast fashion. Trendy, cheap clothes can be tempting for many because of their price point and novelty factor, but they typically fall apart faster than they came into style. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look stylish and feel confident in what you're wearing, but it's good to be mindful of where you're putting your money. Buying trendy items you know you don't actually see yourself wearing a year from now is a surefire way to actually really struggle with finding your own personal style and paying excessive amounts of money over the long term for clothes that you don't even really like once the fad is over. It's also not proportionate to the harm it's causing the environment or the pressure it can put on the people paid to keep the revolving door of trends spitting out year after year. You're essentially paying for clutter when you buy trendy or fast fashion items that you might be impartial to, but not really love. Instead, it's always better to go for timeless, versatile pieces you actually love. And keep in mind that more expensive doesn't always mean higher quality. So it's good to be mindful of what pieces you actually want or need, and personally weigh up your options carefully with your criteria. No trendy, cheap fast fashion in 2025.
Next purchase we're not making in 2025, and one we've chatted about before, disposable batteries. The idea of tossing batteries away after one use seems kind of ridiculous when you think about the harm they cause to our planet, especially when there are better alternatives out there that are actually more cost effective in the 1 to 2 year time frame. Rechargeable batteries for the win. Rechargeable batteries save money over time and keep harmful chemicals out of landfills. It's a small switch with a huge impact, and one we wish we'd done sooner. We've got a link below to our exact rechargeable batteries we've been using, and we couldn't be happier with them. If you're in the market to make a simple yet incredibly effective swap for your wallet and the environment, no single-use batteries in 2025.
Another thing on our no-buy list for this year, non-stick cookware. We talked about this just recently in one of our other videos, but non-stick cookware is proven to be detrimental for your health, from disrupting your hormones and endocrine system to birth defects and certain types of cancer. The chemicals that are released into your food and even into the air you breathe when you're cooking is shocking, and something that scientists are only really now starting to uncover the full ramifications of. We'll leave a few peer-reviewed scientific studies in the description below if you want to research into this further. We went on quite the deep dive ourselves recently, and we're shocked at the sheer amount of health impacts that can fester from cooking on high heat with non-stick cookware. So we stick to timeless, proven options like stainless steel and cast iron to protect our bodies as best we can. Yes, non-stick pans are popular and they're easy to cook on because food doesn't stick, but they do wear out fast and release harmful chemicals, especially when they're scratched. Stainless steel or cast iron pans last forever if you take care of them, and not at the cost of your health.
Next is number 7 on our list of things we're absolutely not buying in 2025. Plastic straws. This is one of the easiest swaps to make, and in fact our state of South Australia has actually made single-use plastics, specifically plastic straws, now illegal to buy and sell because the harm on the environment is well observed. It's awful for sea life and other animals, pollutes our earth, and takes virtually forever to break down in landfill. They're awful, so no, we're not buying them, and couldn't even if we wanted to, and we're always carrying reusable straws with us. It's great knowing we don't have to worry about having that kind of impact on the earth again, and we hope more places follow suit with banning single-use plastic straws that get chucked straight into landfill.
8th on our list of things we're not buying, specifically me, single-use period products like pads or tampons. Switching to reusable options like menstrual cups or period underwear saves money and cuts out tons of waste. It's a one-time investment for years of savings. We've mentioned it briefly before on one of our previous videos, but the average Australian woman spends roughly $10,000 of her own money on single-use period products in her lifetime. That's wild and incredible to think about the sheer amount of waste in landfill that's contributing to. Not to mention the bleach and other harsh chemicals. Even toxic metals like lead, arsenic, and cadmium have been found in major tampon brands. I'll leave a few studies below in the description if you want to be shocked further about the horrible things they're finding with single-use period products. On the other hand, a once-off purchase of something like a period cup will cost about $45 and last you a decade. This is way better for the planet, your health, and your wallet. I love mine. It's super flexible and absolutely one of the best decisions I've made for my health and my bank account. I've left the one I have in the description below if you want to check it out. Highly recommend.
Next, as number 9 on our list of not buying, cling wrap. This stuff sucks. It's incredibly wasteful and only good for one use before it gets thrown away. Wrapping food in thin plastic never really made a lot of sense to either of us, despite both growing up in the 90s where this stuff reigned supreme. There's no denying that cling wrap is wasteful, annoying to use, and ends up straight in landfill. And there's better options out there, things like beeswax wraps or our personal favorite glass containers with lids. We use these every time, and we literally haven't bought cling wrap in over 10 years, and we're not going to start in 2025.
Next, as number 10 on our list, we're not buying plastic cutting boards ever again. Quite similar to the issues we chatted about with the non-stick cookware and bottled water, microplastics are a big concern here when it comes to plastic boards too. Plastic cutting boards wear out, scratch easily, and can trap bacteria in those little tiny grooves. I threw out all of our plastic cutting boards last year and we made the swap to glass and wooden cutting boards. And we'll never go back to plastic, given all the information coming out about them now. That and the plastic boards just never seemed to last. It was annoying always having them scuffed up and just knowing we were cutting our food on toxic surfaces like a cut up plastic board. Wooden or glass cutting boards are sturdier, last longer, and operate great in the kitchen. Plus they're antimicrobial and will last year upon year, which feels great. So I'm personally never buying plastic cutting boards ever again.
Next, as number 11 on the list of things we're not buying this year, paper towels. Again, we grew up in the 90s and paper towel along with cling wrap reigned supreme. But since moving away from home, getting jobs and starting to spend our own money, we quickly figured out that paper towels are actually quite expensive and wasteful for what they are. Many are bleached to be that white, and the fact that they're literally single use before you throw them away doesn't make a lot of sense with our household needs. We use reusable cloth towels instead that we wash and reuse, and we've literally never needed to use paper towel in 14 years of us being together, and I don't think we're going to start in 2025.
Next on our list, cheap disposable razors. I can't believe just how many disposable razors I used to go through when I was a teenager and early university days. It was just all I'd ever known, and I was on autopilot for so long that I just never even thought about changing to something better. Literally better, like a closer shave, a better cut with less nicks and scratches. When I started paying for my own things as I reached later university years, I was looking across my entire year's budget and was shocked to see the amount wasted on cheap disposable razors over the year. It adds up. I started looking around and instantly found a better alternative, and that's what I've been using ever since. Not only am I not tossing out single-use cheap plastic razors that don't even really save me any money over the space of a year, I'm saving my legs, my wallet, and the planet with this simple swap.
Number 13 on our list of things we're not buying, nor have actually ever bought ourselves, toilet wet wipes. Despite what the packaging says, they are not flushable. Wet wipes clog drains, harm wildlife, and aren't biodegradable. There's not too much else to say on this one. They're all around not great and definitely not something we're spending our money on in 2025 or ever.
Next, as number 14, plastic grocery and fruit bags. Specifically, those flimsy, single-use, ultra-thin grocery bags for small produce. Yes, most places nowadays have banned the big plastic grocery bags you leave the store with, but for some reason, the small little plastic bags to hold apples and other small produce are still being used in grocery stores. They so easily rip and tear and end up in oceans or landfills. Bringing reusable cloth bags for groceries or lightweight mesh bags for produce is so much better for everyone involved. Just leave them in your car or near your bike or bag so you remember to bring them with you. It's a small habit we got into years ago, and it's wonderful seeing so many more countries and places phase out these wasteful disposable plastic bags. Personally, we just go without the small little bags altogether and just pop the apples or oranges right into the trolley. We don't actually see any need to pop them in a bag just to then unpack them again. And we have these big reusable trolley bags that we take with us every single time we go grocery shopping, which makes packing and unpacking a breeze. We literally get questions about them all the time when we're out, so if you're interested in checking them out, they're linked below in the description. Funny little side story, one time a lady at Aldi stopped what she was doing and watched me at the registers pack everything into our trolley bags, and after I was done, she said I was a smarty and needed to know where the bags were from and if I'd made them myself. I definitely didn't, but I can see how, especially at Aldi, where the person on the register is practically throwing your items at you to pack then repack over by the designated packing area, how my way seemed a bit radical and different. She loved the idea of only needing to pack things once, so yes, flimsy plastic bags are out and reusable bags are in.
Another one on our personal list of things we're not buying, the latest tech upgrades. These are the upgrades for upgrade's sake. The latest tech drops, regardless of whether our older version of the same thing is working perfectly fine. We use our phones until they die, basically. We don't have techie things on plans that call for the latest upgrade and trade-in, because that doesn't save money. It keeps you in a perpetual cycle of overpaying for tech that's replacing the perfectly functional and once sought after piece you already own. Tech waste is a big and ever-growing problem, and there's a real reason tech companies and big corporations want you to be on the trade-in plans. It costs you more money in the long term and makes them more money than they know what to do with. Delaying upgrades saves resources, reduces e-waste, and helps your budget breathe. So for us, we only ever upgrade when we actually need to, not just for show or novelty.
Another thing we don't buy and won't in 2025 is glitter. Glitter is basically just microplastics. It ends up in oceans, harming wildlife and polluting waterways. There's so many better biodegradable alternatives. So glitter is making it to our no-buy list another year in a row.
Number 17, we're not buying new cleaning products. New cleaning products promise miracles, but most are absolutely unnecessary. DIY alternatives with things like vinegar and baking soda work just as well, cost a fraction of the price, and are better for your health. We keep things really simple and save cash along the way.
Next on our list, something that we personally haven't bought in years, wrapping paper. We're still in the festive time of year and gift giving seems synonymous with wrapping paper, but we personally just never really use it. Why buy something you're just going to tear up and throw out is something I found myself saying more and more to myself over the years. We typically use compostable or reusable gift bags or even tea towels for things like wine. They look fancy, double as a second gift, and are waste free. Another thing I specifically never buy and haven't in over a decade is makeup removal wipes. I can't help but think of them as wasteful, expensive, and often loaded with harsh chemicals that my skin just doesn't agree with. Personally, I definitely won't be using makeup removal wipes this year or probably ever again because I'm really happy with my reusable face cloths and simply just using coconut oil. I've saved so much money by not buying wipes and my skin has never felt healthier.
Next is number 20 on our list, and thank you so much if you're still here watching with us. We really appreciate it and hope you're getting value from our video. Number 20, plastic lined tea bags. This isn't something I even knew was a thing until about 5 years ago. Many tea bags contain a thin plastic lining, which when heated with hot water ends up in your cup and even in your compost if you compost things at home like we do. About 5 years ago, we swapped to using trusty stainless steel tea travel mugs, and we just use either loose leaf tea or simply cut open a tea bag and empty the contents. It cuts down on heating needless plastic that enters your body, and I find sipping tea with a strainer tastes better anyway, because you can control the strength perfectly. It's an easy switch for tea lovers, and my favorite tea coffee press mug that I use literally every single day is linked below. If you're in the market for a quality, timeless mug that cuts out the need for plastic lined tea bags. We're a super small channel and this isn't sponsored or anything, but if you are after anything or any of the sustainable swaps we've mentioned in today's video, we always try to be as helpful as possible and leave direct links to the exact items we use in the description below. So check that out if you're after anything specific. But yes, Jess and I each have one of these cool stainless steel coffee and tea press mugs, and they're fantastic. They keep our drinks hot for literally hours and are super sturdy and can even go in the dishwasher, although we hardly ever pop them in because we're literally never without a hot drink at all times. So yes, no more plastic lined tea bags for this year.
We're now at number 21 on our list of things we're not buying in 2025, and it's fabric softener. It's becoming more and more understood that fabric softener is kind of a waste of money and loaded with harsh chemicals that don't do much. Using silicone dryables or a splash of vinegar instead are good options to keep clothes soft, although truthfully we hardly ever use them. Fabric softener, one of life's small little lies in our opinion, as it's so overpriced for what it is.
Number 22 on our list, cheap accessories. Yes, accessories like scarves and belts can instantly change up an outfit, but spending money on things that you know are cheap, like I know it will probably break soon kind of cheap, means money going down the drain and an overflowing cluttered wardrobe. Putting your money and your time searching for cheap accessories that might only cost a few dollars might seem fine and like it makes no difference to your bank account, but over time these kinds of purchases do add up and they leave your home or wardrobe feeling messy, overwhelming and cluttered. Instead, we find it's good to spend a little more on timeless pieces you will actually wear and know you will enjoy for years to come.
In the same vein, cheap jewelry is on our not going to buy that this year list. Cheaply made or sourced jewelry tarnishes, breaks, turns things green even, and it just isn't worth the money. I always like to think of things by their cost per wear, which is the cost of the item divided by the number of times you'll actually wear it. I now only own a handful of necklaces and enjoy wearing every single one of them on repeat because they're meaningful to me, quality pieces, and since I don't have many, I always know exactly what I have and don't need to search through piles of cheap jewelry looking for the perfect piece for that specific outfit. I find it makes things simpler and I don't spend excessive money on cheaper items I might only wear once and then get sick of. Everyone's taste and style is different and I think that's wonderful and should be celebrated. If everyone's trying to keep up with the latest trendy item, then we're all wearing the same thing, spending money we don't need to and cluttering things up. Instead, finding what you genuinely love and what jewelry you gravitate towards time and time again, I think at least, is a far better way to approach finding your personal style.
Second to last on our our no-buy list for this year, disposable coffee cups. We've already mentioned that we love our stainless steel coffee press mugs, and there's so many reasons why we swap. The major one is that buying coffee out, yes, it's expensive, and it's something we only really do on special occasions, but more important than that is because disposable coffee cups are actually lined with plastic and non-stick coatings, and most can't even be recycled. When we do get coffee out, we always bring our reusable cups because we don't want the microplastics and chemicals from the non-stick coatings leaching into our bloodstreams as the coffee cups are exposed to hot water. Even better, most cafes even give you a discount for bringing your own reusable coffee mug. It's less for them to buy and less single-use crap going straight to landfill. Saving money and the planet, yes please. Again, a link's below if you want to see the ones we have. They've held up really well and look almost as perfect as the first day we got them over 5 years ago. Stainless steel is always the better option in our opinion.
Lucky last on a list of things we're not buying in 2025, and this one was perhaps the most difficult one from our entire list today for me to admit I really didn't need, and I was actually spending way too much money on for years: trendy home decor. I love interior design and enjoy having a cozy, welcoming home, but trendy home decor, especially if it's a dust collector kind of piece, becomes outdated so quickly when it's plucked straight from the depths of the latest, trendiest, trend-setting magazine or home renovation channel. And honestly, I think there's a lot of pressure put on all of us to have the latest and trendiest decor to keep big mass-producing companies turning profit year after year. I see absolutely nothing wrong with buying something that makes your heart sing, and if it's something you genuinely love, then by all means get it. I know I do, because there is joy to be found in adorning your home with your favorite things. But what I do find is more often than not the case, and it was for me for a number of years, is that it's all too easy to fly on autopilot with seeing something over and over again, seeing everyone or their favorite influencer having it, so you feel this need to get it ASAP. Maybe it's to fit in or to make your space look like a revolving door of the latest, trendiest items to keep up with the Joneses, but after a while it gets exhausting and downright expensive, not to mention the insane amount of clutter that builds up from always buying the latest thing to replace your latest thing. So yes, in 2025, I'm not buying any home decor that I'm not 100% in love with. Anything that I can't picture exactly where it will go in our house, or anything that looks even remotely annoying to dust if I don't love it enough to dust it, isn't meeting the cut in my books. Not so much a thing for Josh to pop on his list of things he's not buying, but it's definitely one of mine to be more and more conscious of, because I've been there spending money on things I didn't even truly want, just cluttering up my space and making things more difficult for myself to manage. And I'm definitely making a concerted effort in 2025 to never impulse buy anything in the home decor category unless I absolutely love it. Again, I'm a big believer of surrounding yourself with your favorites of favorites, so being extra intentional with what I'm specifically not going to spend my money on, aka the non-favorites or the yeah, I kind of like that items, makes me more mindful and intentional with where I do put my money and where I spend my time and energy.
So there we go. There's our long list of 25 things we're not buying in 2025. We'd love to know what you're not buying this year. Let us know below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more minimalist and simple living inspired videos like this. We love chatting about all things saving money, decluttering, and living sustainably. So make sure you subscribe if that's your vibe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
You walk into the fireplace.
It makes me look giant.
Captain Planet, he's a hero. Gonna reduce, what is it? Pollution down to zero.